What's up, y'all? This is episode... Oh, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
What's up, y'all? So this is our newest episode of
The Crew Love Show.
Crew Love Show. I am HD.
I'm Brian Patrick Davis, the POA, reporting live from 285.
I am your girl, A Star.
And today we have a special.
A very special guest. One of my
special.
favorite people.
Yes, Shanell.
Shanell. S&M motherfucking Nell.
Yeah. Yes, I'm excited. You're like our
Shanell in
second
the
guest.
building.
Yes, Shanell, you're our second guest.
Oh.
This is so great.
Well, I'm glad to be you guys' second guest.
Yes.
Should have been your first, but
Well, see
What happened was
what had happened
the
was
schedules, the alignment.
Yeah.
You know, stuff
You are
happens,
in
but
the
it's
right
all
place
good.
at the right time.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. This episode was meant for you.
I love it.
I hate this.
I
This
love
is like one of my least favorite things ever.
it.
When this emoji came out, I was like, yuck.
Okay, so y'all want to start
think I've
with
ever
what we
done
did
that.
this week and then go into...
Because I didn't do nothing this week.
I did.
What you do this week?
You know, it's my birthday week.
Birthday
So,
week.
I've been turned up. I've been shopping and spending my hard-earned money, my video money.
Okay.
At least you spend your riches, your
No,
earnings.
I think I spent too much.
Oh.
Now I got to go back to work.
You got to pay the mortgage, right? It's coming up.
We already paid it, so
Ooh.
thank God for that. But I don't know about next month.
It's coming again. I was like, it's another one.
Right,
They don't
you know.
just...
Ace, what you been doing this week?
Not much. I've been trying to rest, but it's like catching up. It's just not working. But hey, I'll get there.
I'm scared to catch up.
Chanel, what you been doing this
That's
week?
what I was just thinking. Like, what did I do this week? Well, no, I had a couple of meetings.
Okay, we like meetings.
Yes.
True to
Do
bad.
we?
Meeting with some new artists that need some guidance.
Okay.
Cool.
Meeting with some new producers that are here in Atlanta that I didn't know were here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
People that you've always been kind of had your eye on, or are they newer people?
They're newer people.
Okay.
That I've heard their names but didn't know that they were here.
Okay.
That's cool.
I think
Okay.
you're getting a lot of that now in Atlanta. Are these people who have moved here
Yeah.
secretly?
Mhm.
And you're like, you're in Atlanta?
Yeah.
That's when.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Only unless asked.
So before we really get started, Shanell, let the people know if they don't already know. What do you do? Like, how did you get here? What's your specialty? Or
What's the story?
what is the story?
The whole
Chanel-
story?
Not the whole story. Give the
because our timer is counting
Bullet
down.
points. Boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom.
yeah.
Okay, so I am Shanell SNL. Young Money is my Shanell Young Money is my Instagram. But I am a singer, songwriter, choreographer, artistic director, actress / I'm starting to be a comedian. I didn't even know that I was that funny sometimes. And dancer. Did I say that?
No, you
I don't
didn't. You
even
said
know.
choreographer,
I
but
said a
yeah.
few.
And so, yeah, I've been making my rounds through the entertainment industry, wearing multiple hats, sometimes all the hats at the same time. But, yeah, that's who I am.
Let me tell you guys, I've known Shanell since I was in high school. And she used to scare me so much. And I told Shanell this, because Shanell, first of all, she's 2 feet tall, as you guys can see.
Yeah, she is pretty short.
And
Nobody knows that. Every time people meet me, they're like, you're so...
they're
You're
like,
shorter than me, look.
look, they're like,
I'm kind of shocked. What?
but look, no, so Shanell, she used to come. So she was already the shit. Everybody knew who she was, dancers. She was the shit. And everybody wanted Shanell to choreograph shit for them. And so she would come back to her high school to choreograph these routines for the seniors and shit like that. And I'll never forget one time I didn't even go to this school, right? I was there visiting my friends or whatever. And Shanell came in, she had on this baggy black sweatsuit and these huge furry brown boots, and she just had this long pretty hair, and she was just so serious about dance and making sure that the kids were focused, and she was just very intimidating. She had this huge huge personality, a huge energy in this little body, but she like really like radiated like just this like she was like,
can we say the school? Can we
Tri-Cities High School?
Tri-Cities High School.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Atlanta's, to me, that's our fame.
That's the
Mecca.
hotbed.
Yes.
Yeah, for
So it was our fame.
oh,
and I
she
wanted to
making
make
that
sure-
face because she went to Redan.
I did not go to reading.
Oh wait,
North Atlanta.
Stevenson.
Stevenson,
Oh.
the black and blue Jaguars.
Oh, girl.
But Stevenson wasn't.
No, it wasn't an art
No, it
school.
wasn't.
Exactly. So,
I was gonna say North Atlanta was our
But
like
yeah.
rival.
Yeah.
but yeah, like that was the first time I ever encountered Shanell, and she didn't know who I was. But I was like, "Yo, this girl is crazy!
I
Like
was
she's
going like and 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, and 5.
she was so intense. Like she was so intense.
I
And-
love the arts. I love what I do. I love what it did for me in my life. And like when I went back to my high school, I was like, take it seriously.
Yeah.
Girls would be like, well, I mean, I like to dance, but
You're like, no.
there's the door.
You need to love it.
Yeah. And so then, like, I guess a couple of years later, I was in school and just trying to be like creative and shit. And I met Shanell like for real. And we,
Hit it off.
yeah, hit it off really, really well. And she was just like all things to me. Like I adored her songwriting. I just was like enthralled by her. Like just like, yeah, no, for real. Like I like she just was very
But
like
Brian is, I don't know if y'all know what all he has done and what he's did so much for me. Like, I remember I was like in the mode of I'm going to do everything myself. And I was like, Brian, can I use your house? I want to shoot a video in your house.
yeah.
Like, okay. I think 2 of your houses I shot.
Yeah.
But he's always been super supportive, and you know, we've created things together with other groups and
Mhm.
situations. So yeah,
And I feel like Shanell don't really like talk her shit the way that she should. Like she's
Yeah, I think
literally
she was being
done.
modest, too.
Yeah, she's being
Yeah.
super modest. Like she's worked with so many different people.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so
we-
let's.
run
So
the
let me.
list.
I'll help you since you probably.
There we go. Help
Um,
us. 'Cause I wanna know.
Kelis,
Okay.
3LW,
Okay.
Danity Kane,
Okay.
Usher, Lil Wayne. You've done staging for entire tours, Wayne's tours, the I Am Music tours,
So what, like creative directing?
creative
Or-
directing,
okay.
staging,
So, like-
choreographing, costuming,
Okay.
all of that, all of
Everything.
those things. Like she literally has like been,
Had my hands on it.
yeah, like,
Yes.
and I feel like she don't talk her shit enough about the stuff that she's accomplished as it
That's why
pertains.
we're here, right?
Yeah.
So how do we get here?
Because,
Like,
you know, I came up in the arts, right? So it was always you show what you do, you don't talk about what you
Mhm.
do. So and in the music industry, I think it's a talk versus show. And so, you know, I've always been like, you know, I'm gonna walk in and you're gonna know because you can
'Cause you've
see,
seen
you know,
it.
my receipts.
Mhm.
I don't have to run off like, oh yeah, and I'm this and I'm this, and you
Yeah.
don't. I did this and I sold this, and my you know, all that to me is kind of like
Corny.
what's the point?
Yeah, it's corny. It is
It's
corny.
about the resume.
right. And then because music is a passion of mine, and the arts is a passion of mine, I came into it loving the craft, not really wanting to run off numbers. To me, that's what you do behind, you know, when you're in your marketing room and you're trying to prove to your PR people or the new promotions team what you've done so that they can do the work that they need to do for you
Right.
the next project you have going, not to the consumer that's buying and enjoying your music. They just want to hear the music, they want to see the show, and they want to be happy about that. They don't care about your numbers and your stats.
Yeah.
To me, that wasn't anything that I was taught to speak of. That's your receipts that follow you as you move through your career.
Yeah.
So I just never was
Yeah,
I don't even
you've
know how
never
to
been
do it,
that
and
girl.
I forget what I've done until somebody's like, "Oh, I remember you from such." I was like, "Yeah, I did do that."
Do that.
I was just, before you got here, I was showing D. I was like, this Shanell was in the Goodies video. She was in the Get It Shawty video.
Yeah.
She was in the One Chance Look at Her video. Like, I was going through, because Shanell, like those times were staples that I could remember in my life, especially like when I was working for Concrete Loop and stuff like that. I would literally show up to set and you would be there, like you would be the girl, like that girl, like and this is before I even knew about everything else that you could do as far as like your pen. You know what I'm saying? Like so it was like for me to have seen kind of like the trajectory and where you came from to what you've done and what you've continued to do and what you've been doing was like always like a wow to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always like, damn, like I always was like super impressed. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I mean,
so yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. It was a lot of work, and you know, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people can say, you know, I've been in this business and I've done a lot on my own because a lot of people have to do a lot on their own. That's what you're doing. You're selling yourself as a product, and sometimes what you have to do first is present your product, show people what you can do for them to then support you. But like I went from starting off in musical theater, which means you have to sing, dance, and act.
Yeah.
You have to do
and you have to do them well at Tri-Cities. Right. It wasn't like you could just show up there and be mediocre. Like you had other people that were as good as you vying for the same positions as you too.
So I started there into dancing professionally in the music business for artists like Candy and like you said, 3LW, Little Bow Wow. Those were like my first gigs. And then through that, like I always wrote music. I always sang music, and I would be doing this on the tour bus and those artists would be like, "You can write? Oh, I like that song. Oh, I like that track. Who's that producer? Can you introduce me to that producer? Can you write this song for me?" So like it was like one talent fed the next. And so I stepped out of then dancing to write, and then I would write these songs. At the time, R&B was not like it is today.
No, not at all.
They wouldn't say half the stuff that, you know, they're saying now, and that's how I was writing. And so I started becoming like the girl with the pen. Her pen game is sick.
Can I let me what Shanell means by that is like, Shanell was writing crazy ass songs. Like Shanell has this one song in particular that I always talk to her about that she will never send me, but you can find like clips of her performing it on YouTube. It's called "Fucking on the Dance Floor."
Yes.
Wait, why won't you send it? That's what
because
I think I don't have it anymore. Like,
so it's not like.
So if somebody's watching this who has that I've probably sent to, or has a CD, because
you're right, put it on CDs.
Burned it.
Please send it to
Okay,
me or Brian.
But what I'm saying is Shanell used to say the craziest stuff in songs that girls would have never said back then. Like she used to talk like a nigga on records. And that's what I loved about it so much, because Shanell has this way of like, she literally would be saying whatever the fuck. Like she has records that are super like aggressive, like girls talking like niggas, like really talking they shit. And then she has like really vulnerable records where it's like, oh my God, like shit that would make you like want to cry. Like,
so I want to know, like, cause I get editor's block all the time but I know that's like a whole different thing. Matthew might understand it, yes. But for writers, like, where do y'all get your inspiration from? Like, how do you keep things fresh? Is it like things that you go through specifically, or do you just kind of like hear, like, what is it? Because I've never quite been able to like wrap my head around how y'all can get so creative with stuff like that.
I think it's a mixture of real life and the life of those closest to you, like listening to your homegirl story, like, bitch, what?
Yeah, right.
He did what? So it could be, you know, real life things like that, or dreams or aspirations or things that you wish the world was, or how people should be, you know. And then I like to write like saying the opposite of what I'm. Oh gosh, there's a word for this, but I don't.
Analogy, like in it, like the opposite.
The other way, like I love you, fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that called? What's the word?
I don't know what it's called, but I know exactly what you mean. It's like a juxtaposition of like what
I love you so much, I hate you.
Yeah.
Like I love crossing the ideas.
Yeah.
Because I think that people do that a lot. You know, like even with like in these domestic situations, it's like most of the time it's that person really, really cares about that person, but they don't know how to say it. Mm-hmm. So they choose to act the opposite way because they don't know how to just say I love you. So they'll throw something at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know? I don't want you to leave, but I don't know how to just
But I don't know how to just say I don't want you to leave.
But I'm going to throw this bottle at you because you better not leave.
Right.
You know? So I feel like that kind of relates with a lot of people that don't know how to express their emotions. Because I think I was that person at one point in time. But I've had different types of writer's block. Like I remember when my name just started being everywhere, right? And I just started getting all these followers, and they were from ages like 25, 35 to 12.
Wow.
And I said, this conversation is not for a 12-year-old.
Right. Mm.
So I started, this was on Twitter. I was like, I don't want to say
this and
delete. Delete. Oh, my mother might be delete. I was like, I don't want to have the same conversation with all these different groups of people.
Yeah.
Because this idea, this feeling, or this emotion is for this audience. Mm-hmm. So that, at a time when I was going in the studio, I was like, I don't even know what to say anymore because I'm talking to so many people. Like, I don't want to send these little girls down the wrong path talking about
fucking on the dance floor.
And then I'm talking about being in love and giving a man a second chance, but I don't want that girl whose man is beating on her to give him a second chance. It just started to get like.
So then how do you quiet that noise? Like what's the middle ground? Or is there a middle ground? Or do you care about the middle ground anymore? Do you just throw your hands up to it and say like.
I'm just like, what the fuck I want to write?
Yeah.
Definitely. That's where I'm at now in my life period. It's like, okay, this is my experience that God has given me. My life, what I'm going through, who I'm meeting, the subjects that I can talk about wholeheartedly and confidently. And so whoever is supposed to hear it will hear it. Mm. And whoever doesn't agree wasn't supposed to. Mm. And so it's just at this moment in time, if this is what I say and this is how I feel, then that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. And I might look back and be like, oh my God, I said that. You know, like, but I've learned to accept like the places that you are in your life, and being in the light, being the camera on you, like you're living under a microscope of everybody's opinion. Yeah. So you can't be perfect for everybody. Yeah. You just got to be perfect for you and your mission and your journey, and just do that. So
okay.
When you're blocked, just write whatever the fuck do whatever is coming to the thing you were erasing. Just write it.
Yeah,
and
see what happens. Mm-hmm. I like that. I'm gonna just edit. Just edit something.
Yeah, because then if there's controversy from it, because people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she said that." Great,
right? Yeah.
If it's everybody agrees, great. Even better. You know.
Yeah.
But it is your words. You speak it. You believe it. Mm-hmm. Be loud, be clear. Yeah. Be proud. You know?
Oh, you guys on?
Yeah. So here at Crew Love Show, obviously we are we're all known for like being behind the scenes. Like we're very well known. But we all, can pop out from time to time, and people do know us outside of like being behind the scenes. So like me, I started as a kid and you know, got into the industry on the front end of it as like, you know, halfway in, halfway out. For you, I know you've been able to be on both sides of behind the scenes and in front of camera. So I think with the podcast, like us shedding the light of those, you know, people in those industries of like being like songwriters or choreographers that have to be behind the scenes. You're there before the artist gets there, after the artist gets there. You making things happen that they don't even know about. So like being in both sides of it, like where do you feel like the happy medium? Like what is your go-to?
The sweet spot.
Yes.
I ain't gonna front. I loved behind the scenes. I still do. Like I don't need that much attention.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't like that much attention. You know, you want to be able to trip and fall and nobody see you sometimes.
Right.
So, I liked being behind the scenes because I also felt like I wasn't alone. I say that because I remember when I did my first tour for myself as Shanell the artist. I was on tour with dancers and a band. These are my friends. I've known them because we worked behind the scenes together.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to this first show, and my manager's like, okay, Shanell, go in the dressing room. And then the dancers was like, well, we about to go get some food. Oh, we about to go see the city real quick. Oh, we about to. And I was like,
I want to be doing that. Yeah.
You know, and I had to be like in the dressing room. I couldn't be seen until I hit the stage. After I got off stage, I had to sign a couple of autographs and then go get on the bus. And it was like my dancers and the band were able to like see the city or experience things. And it was just like, then you get to the hotel and the security's like, okay, stay in the room. And I'm staying at the door. And it's like, and they're going to the clubs. And if I did go to the club, big old security's there. You're in this VIP cage, and everybody's just looking at you, drinking your drink
by yourself.
And you're like, it's corny to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but my dancers are out there having a good time, dancing on the dance floor, you know, meeting people. I just felt like, oh, when I was choreographing, and when I can sit back and enjoy the show and not be on edge every minute. Like New Year's. It was New Year's one time. And like I'm backstage trying to figure out what I'm going to put on. And it's like my family's out there enjoying bringing in the new year. Like there was a moment in time when I was really, I didn't do that for years. For years, from the time I was 18 until, oh my God, until now.
Yeah.
I was about to say, what's that number?
No.
But I remember I was just like, you know, I missed a lot of things. I missed family functions because, like, as the artist, you are the entertainment for people's Thanksgiving Day and their Christmases, and they're watching you and talking at the dinner table about your performance, and you're not able to enjoy these things. So, so there's it. And then behind the scenes, sometimes I look and I'm like, what is this girl doing?
Yeah.
Like, just give me the microphone.
Yeah, I can
do
do it better.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Girl, I'll do it.
right. Like, come on, man. All right. Just give me, take your outfit off.
I mean, I think too, like Shanell, like that's, I mean, like the performance piece is like, is something that like all creatives like perform in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so it is important to like to get that out. Like there's a physicality in everything creative that people do, even if it is behind the scenes. So I get that need to kind of like want to put it all out there at times, like, because there's a little bit of like insanity in the genius of being just a creative person too. And so I think like that's one of those things.
We are the show. We are the show. We
are.
are the production.
We put the show together.
Because you see, somebody might come to you with an idea, and you bring it to life.
Absolutely.
That brings so much pleasure to me, to see something go from nothing to something. People can't do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people can
they can delegate the task, but they can't like make it the tactical piece of
So like when somebody's like, oh, I want this show to look like this, and I want to have dancers coming from the ceiling and da da da. It's like, okay, all right, let me, and it's like that creative time. It's like people that like to cook and take onions and carrots and tomatoes and then make it some crazy ass dish.
Yeah.
Like there's a satisfaction that comes from that. And I love that part, but I also love, I don't want to discredit the being on stage and being the performer. I love that energy. I remember when I was a little girl, that's all I did was sing in front of the mirror with a brush. And me and my sister would be doing that. And I remember the first time I was on stage in an audience of in an arena. I don't know how many people sit in an arena. But I was like, I am here. This is what I saw when I was 5 years old. And I'm up here. Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I saw y'all in my dreams a long time ago.
Girl, you was not saying that. That was not what you were saying.
Listen out. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, there's a gift and a curse in both sides. Yeah. Because you can be underappreciated when the artist or anybody just sees you as somebody who can get hired and fired. It's like, well, wait, try it if you want to.
Yeah.
It's your shit ain't gonna look the same.
Whole idea, but yeah.
Okay, I got a question. It's kind of unrelated, but like, what is Shanell listening to right now? Like, what's getting you excited right now? And it's okay if it's nothing or if it's old, like, because that's, I only listen to old shit for real.
Okay, so, all right. So for a long time, I wasn't listening to anything.
I believe that.
Then I started working out. And so being on an hour on that treadmill or that Stairmaster,
you need something.
You need something to listen to. So I started listening to B103's international station.
Oh wow.
They have
okay.
beats. Oh, yes, part 2.
When I tell you, I would be like, doom, step.
International Afro.
And so I love that right now.
Okay.
I'm a mess by, I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Oma.
Oma. Uh-huh.
Is it OMAH? That's one of my favorite songs. I think it's a little old for people that might, like, not even old. It's probably like 4 months old.
Oh, yeah. It's still new. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
okay.
that. And then old stuff.
Yeah.
Like old rap. Like him and that era, that Flavor in Your Ear and just old hip hop music.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not really into the new stuff, right? I don't know it. I'm not gonna say I'm not into it. I don't know it.
Me neither. I don't know it either.
I did more dabble.
Yeah, she dibbles and dabbles. Ace be knowing all the new shit, but she's a DJ, so she has to know the new shit. The new shit don't really do nothing for me like that for real. And I be listening to a lot of shit that's like that like don't nobody really have for real.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that kind of stuff.
I be listening to your shit. I be listening to like.
He does play your stuff.
He has stuff
like
that nobody has.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he has the CDs.
Yeah,
and maybe now
on my digitally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like that kind of stuff gets me excited because like that's just what.
It's not worn out. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, jeez. Never mind.
Yeah.
So what I want to know, because sometimes as a creative, I'll be up, and then sometimes I'll be down. We talking money wise. Right?
Oh,
because there's like a drought going on right now. I don't know if y'all know, but anyway. So when was the last time you were down? Like, and then how did you kind of like come up out of it? Because I know for me, when I'm broke, I'm not happy. I'm not a happy person. I'm not. I got the worst attitude.
I don't know about that B word. We're gonna say
my bad. Just down.
Just down. Well, see, I have a lot of
say it. Speak
royalty
on it.
checks. Residual income. I told you, look, y'all didn't hear what I said. Kelis, Chris Brown, my girl got them little publisher, that little publisher checks come here.
But I know I don't want to depend on that.
Yeah.
Like I want new, different things. So
But it's nice to have that cushion, that little, you know.
No. And that, if nothing else, shows me the work, the hard work that I have done in this business is them checks. Like, yes, we do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know? And so, but I still, I'm not in any position right now to say that I don't want for anything or I don't need for anything. Like, I want to be in that place. I want to freaking buy some farmland and just have some horses and cows and chickens and do music.
Of course you do, Shanell. In your barnyard studio.
SNL farm.
That kind of check to do that. So, but yeah, when you want to know what to do or how to,
or like if whenever you're in a situation where you feel like, oh shit, now I need to like do something, I need to work. Like, how do you maneuver, across that?
Well, for anybody who is in the position of doing music, making money in music, and then, I have been up and down. When I signed to Neo, I saved up my money as a dancer, and I said, okay, I'm going to stop dancing, and I'm going to be an artist. And right before I was certified to be being an artist, I was down to pennies. I moved in with my homegirl, and I was like, man, can I get some gas money? Because I just got to get to the studio. But I just say, like, I really put everything into it, so it had to work.
Yeah.
I think sometimes plan B kind of fucks you up. Because it's like, you just start leaning on plan B so much that plan A just kind of gets lost in the...
Because you get comfortable with plan B sometimes.
Yeah. But I didn't have a plan B. It was just like, I quit. Like, I can't go back and be like, Neo, can I pick up, can you fire that girl that you replaced me with and hire me back? So I remember that time in my life. But I was happy though.
Okay.
I was broke.
And I also think for you, Shanell, like, that's the thing, like, when you work as a creative, it's your opportunity to create those opportunities for yourself. Like, for instance, like, I know one of the things that you do now is like you kind of like mentor these girls and be kind of like getting them together. Like artists. Yeah, like that artist development piece is missing at labels. And so I feel like people have to go elsewhere to kind of like get their artists in a pressure cooker. And that's like opportunity for people like you who are like seasoned and know how to fuck it up on stage, commit to it on stage, write their own music, vocal produce themselves, then on top of that, understand the business part, then know how to talk to a mix engineer about how they want to sound. Like, all of those things, and you can impart that wisdom onto. And there are people that need that. There are people that need that
everybody
needs it.
Even if you know how to do it, even myself I need it. Yeah. I still go to people like Victor. I'm like, okay, sharpen me up, because there's things that I know that, I can kick myself in the ass, but so much.
Yeah.
But I know he can be like, okay, now, Shanell, I know what you can do. Like, okay. I'm like, all right.
Somebody to kind of like whip you into shape.
Yeah. You always need to sharpen those basic skills in whatever you do, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a whatever else.
But I just think that for people like you, like, that's kind of like been the opportunity where, I'm down right now. But like, for instance, D, for you, let's just say, I'm not wishing nothing crazy on you, but let's just say your camera lens broke. The lens that you need.
I do have a broken lens right now.
Okay, well, but and let's just say you couldn't shoot and you didn't have it right now to cop a new lens. Right. One of the things that you could probably do is that's like, okay, I still need to be doing something that's related to what the fuck I really want to do, what I've been doing. Maybe I can set up a webinar to teach these girls how to edit, or, you know what I'm saying? It's still in line with what your dream is and what your vision is. But sometimes you have to pivot a little bit. Like, that's just, like, and Shanell, like, I've done that before. I had a whole girl group. Once it was gone, and the shit fell apart, we had to figure out as a company, like, what was we about to do? And we were able to use what we did with them to work with other people. But at the time, we thought that was all we had. We had to figure it out and make it make sense a different way.
But that's what's so genius about people like us. Because time and time again, we get in a place where we have to reinvent. We have to create the branches on our tree. And there are people out there who freeze up, literally jump off of buildings because they don't know anything but that one thing. And so I thank God for making me a creative. And those times that I was broke, thank you, God, because it taught me how to figure it out.
And readjust.
And you always
pivot.
figure it out.
You always figure it out. And you can run from your truth, but if that's what you were, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. I've tried to run from my truth time and time again. And I'm just like, why would I start from the ground in some other entity and not use all of my receipts in this? Like, I love, you get in, it's a relationship. And sometimes the relationship isn't so good to you all the time. But just find another way to go to counseling with your relationship. I went to counseling with my music. And found, okay, well, let's do something different. It's just like, a relationship, like, okay, a couple might need to go to counseling. Like, why don't you guys try this? That's all it is.
I think what's important about what you said is it is a relationship. And you know how some people say, like, oh, relationships not serious if they not hard. Oh, relationships are hard. And I say, no, relationships are work. And sometimes work is hard and sometimes work is fun. Sometimes you love work and sometimes you hate it. And that's just, that's kind of like where you lie when you are, especially having to like figure it out in as a person that just wants to like get it out, And so I think that that's so important that you say that. Like, we do always have to figure out branches on a tree is the perfect way to describe it, because you're rooted in this and then you gotta grow it.
And it's scary. It's scary. And to put yourself out there and try something new. It's like it's comfortable to be what feels comfortable, even if it's just draining your pockets. But like, it's scary, and it's much easier said than done. To just say, well, just branch out, figure something. And sometimes the figuring something out takes a year. It takes sitting down. It takes going to work at such and such restaurant, being waitress, and get your tips, and then going home and sitting down and thinking, what am I going to do next? Sometimes you got to do that, but if you're passionate about what you do, then nobody's discrediting, nobody's opinion, nothing should detour you from what you
It's actually funny you say that, because I'll literally I will purposefully take certain gigs that are like out of my league just to like stay sharp. Like I always do things that I don't want to do because it's boring or it takes a long time, or maybe they're like acquiring too many graphics or whatever, and I'll just do it. And like I'll be so sad the whole time doing it, like, but I ain't no bitch, I'm gonna finish it. And I mean that's like just so that because you have those moments where things shift, life happens, and you have to like be comfortable with maneuvering. So I'm always uncomfortable, so that hopefully one day I'm just comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I'm good.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about it like that.
So I had a baby almost 3 years ago. And I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Because I was the all natural breastfeed, be with my baby until, but how am I going to make money while I'm doing this? And so I started working with this company that does EDM dance music.
Oh, word.
And they sent me like 10 songs a week I had to do.
Wow.
It wasn't full songs. It was like
a
minute.
You were the samples.
A minute and some change. And
were your vocals on them, or they just wanted you to write them? Or both?
My vocals.
Okay.
The main objective was to write it, and then they started calling me to cut the songs. That's kind of how I became an artist.
You were demoing stuff.
But people were like, no artist is
gonna
they're
sing
scared
that
to say these
Yeah.
things. Can you just be an artist? That's how that happened. But so this EDM world, right? You know, I feel like I've done it before, but when I got these tracks, I was like, where do the words go?
Right.
Like it's just do like so. But this was a point where I was like, I'm taking this job because I have to feed my child. I have to, keep the money flowing. But it taught me so much about just this other side of music that I hadn't dived into. I've tapped into it, but like it's a whole nother ball game. And these people look at music totally different. They look at it like work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, you feel this?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like, okay, this is the sound. This is the kind of it's like it's very technical.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Like, and then I go into the studio with rappers or singers that are just like, we just do whatever. And it's just like,
Shanell, you want to know what's so crazy about that? I've done that too. Not the EDM thing, but for a brief stint, maybe for like a year, I was recording vocals and writing for cheerleading competitions. Like, because it became like illegal for them to use at cheer competitions, like mixes of songs that were already popularized. And so cheerleaders would go, cheerleading coaches and these huge competitions that make all this money, they would go to producers to create tracks for their shows, and not just for their shows, but specifically for their squads and their seasons. And so like me, my homeboy Devin, we would go in and we would write these like really short, like vocals, sometimes like raps, and we were recording them for cheerleading vocal competitions.
That's cool. I never even knew that was like
there's
a thing.
so many different ways.
Crazy.
There's
and when I tell you they record at the craziest, like biggest studios, like nice,
super,
like state of the art.
Don't take me. I just want to see.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about
That should be crazy.
why am I doing regular? Like for real, I was just like, okay, well, I think this is where I'm about to just start. But for video games, for cheerleading stuff, for movies, but it was just it's so much. There's so like I just saw that the art of what I was taught when I was young was there, and sometimes I feel like the artists that are coming out now don't appreciate the art that they're in and how it can feed your family if you respect it and not just walk into this business like it's just a quick check. It's going to happen overnight. I don't have to go to rehearsal. I don't have to train. I don't have to, because when I work with some of these artists, they're like, okay, do I have to jog in place for a minute before I start singing? Yes. Because the stage is the size of a football field and you can't even walk across the stage and not
be breathing funky.
So run, bitch, until I say stop and then sing your song.
Yeah.
They be looking at me like this.
Well, look,
But that's for real house Chanel.
I'm like, I was at Trust.
Yes. That's what it is.
Well, that takes us to my next. And as a DJ, I hear a lot of music. Obviously, I heard your music at a younger age, so I did hit the clean version. But no, to be honest, like I've worked with a lot of artists, and so with you specifically, I know when you look into the world and the industry now, you then birth some artists. So, and on a good side, because I can tell you exactly who I know. Birth like from head to toe.
Let's not name drop.
Right. But
text it to us.
Right. But
look,
in the group chat. But how does it feel? Because I've DJed behind an artist and I see the spitting image of them in the like sound, ad libs, actions, how they perform. So for you, I know there are like you got some babies out here. Mm-hmm. So outside of your real baby. How does it feel to like know like wow like they had to study me, they had to watch
dripped
me,
a little sauce on them.
Yeah, like how does that feel?
I really appreciate when an artist will come and say it to me, you know? Because it's just like, you know, thank you. And continue to be that for the next, you know? And then sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, did they get that from me?
Yes.
But I don't want to be that person.
Right.
But I can't wait till you text that.
Hey, but you know what's crazy is like, I was at a show recently, and I was at the Teacher Moses show recently at City Winery, and somebody asked her the same question. They were asking her like, how do you feel about these new R&B girls that be like posting about your debut album, Complex Simplicity? And she was like, it feels good to know that like people, because you know, first she was signed to an indie label, wasn't really recognized like that. But like the girls who are like girling right now, who are really like out there, they kind of like recognize like, oh, so it has to feel good to like have somebody come to you and say like, oh, you know, you inspired this. I learned this from you. You taught me this without you even really teaching it to me. But then.
And I covered one of her songs and Instagrammed her because I didn't know her personally. I was like, you know, I'm doing this. Thank you for doing this and inspiring me. But what was I about to say? You said it must feel good. Yeah, and the reason why it feels good too is because I know I'm not selling pussy in my music. I'm
even though there's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm just. You know,
it's just I love to be sexy. I love to be a woman.
Yes,
I love to own my sexuality. And Madonna's one of my biggest icons. I feel like she doesn't, excuse my language, she doesn't get fucked. She does the fucking.
Yeah.
And to me, like that's what I feel like. As a woman, be sexy, own your sexuality, but I'm not out here just busting it wide open for a nigga. You know?
No, but the black bikini top to the long black.
But when girls who are busting it wide open, I hate that I'm saying that, but certain artists who are doing a lot different than what I do, when they come up to me and say I inspired certain things, I know that's when I'm like. Really, because I didn't think
that's what I was selling,
right? Or that they would listen to something like what I'm doing, and then take it and make it their own version of it. So it is like really, thanks. You know, I would think you looking like, oh, she not, you know.
She want a farm and shit.
Right. Exactly.
She trying to get a farm.
She a choreographer.
and then the artists that are like me or are on the same kind of wavelength. I love when they get inspired as well.
I would like to, off the record, talk to you about those people too. Just because I don't know, you know, I don't know what you think about what's going on right now. And I have some thoughts about what's going on right now too. I think that music in general is starting to, I think people are starting to realize that like that flash in the pan shit is not working anymore. And I think that people's attention spans are getting wider now, and people are more interested in like bodies of work as opposed to just like quick things.
I think it's starting to become more on the radar. Because, I mean, I know me and you both have been in this, like, mainstream music world, but also tapping into, you know, new, fresh, different, underground. But, yeah, I think there's so many dope artists that are living their dreams and traveling and doing music and reaching so many people, and nobody knows who they are. But
they're able to tour and go to the places that they need to go and sell out shows and like be slaying, and nobody know who they are.
Right, they can still walk into the grocery store and do their thing, and you know, then go on stage and be great, and the whole crowd knows every word of their song. Like, how are you doing that? You're living both lives.
That's kind of how I felt when we were at Feed Store when we saw that band perform. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and it was like we had no idea who they were, but like
Wait,
people.
they weren't doing other people's music?
No, that was their own music.
Everybody was going crazy.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
going crazy. I don't even know what it was.
That's what I'm saying. It was like this Brazilian band, and like people were going crazy for their music. And the only reason why I know it was their music is because I heard them say that they had CDs for sale at the spot. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I've never heard of this, but it was packed, like wall to wall. When we were there, just there to eat, but like the people were going nuts.
It was
I love that that's where this business has gone, because it's taken so many hands out of those big
pots.
Yeah. Like, okay, no, now you can't get this. But these people are dope. They're creative. You can't tell them, you can't put them in a box and they can do what they want. Because for half of my career, people were trying to fit me in a box.
Yeah, they were.
And, so I love it that artists are able to do them. And then it's kind of like being behind the scenes and being in front of the scene.
Yeah,
be in the scene.
Be in the scene. So they're living both worlds, and that is just amazing. That's dope to me. That's potentially where I would like my next project to sit. I don't care to be on no major. I wanna do me. I wanna have fun. I want dope people to come to my shows and have fun, and I want to farm, and I want to have a horse.
Yes.
Wow.
You get the best of both.
Really? Okay. So I have a situation, and I feel like everybody can kind of tap in on this and kind of talk about it, but like,
what's the issue?
Okay.
What's the issue?
So,
What's the
industry-wise, as creatives, oftentimes we get asked to do other jobs that aren't what we are hired for, what we're booked for, what we're invoiced for, you name it. But we are creatives, so we know how to create. We know how to pivot.
And they know, the client knows you know how to do it too.
And our resume, like you said, receipts, we're stacked up. Like I might come in the door as a DJ, but baby, I can run your Instagram. I can turn your social media up. I can give you that creative idea and execute it. So what is the next step? And I think if we're giving advice, if we're going through like experience that we've gone through, is like, what do we do when we are asked to do something else? Like, is there a politely, decline?
Do you saying like the person wants you to do additional work?
Definitely. Outside of what you were brought on.
I think it depends on the client for me.
So some people get,
and by that I mean like, cause some people, cause I like to take gigs that feed me. Like actually feed me, and then also like mentally, you know what I mean? Like, so I like to have clients that, got some substance. You don't have to be a celebrity or anything like that, but like maybe you can teach me something. Example, I have a client who's a bartender. So if you come to my house for Christmas, I know how to make you a drink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's little shit like that. So like, it depends on the client for me. If it's somebody that I want a long lasting relationship with in business, then I might fuck around and like show them like,
So you're not gonna ask for a raise, like you're not looking for like sending additional invoices.
That's what I'm saying.
But
like,
are you about your business?
Is that my business? But at the same time too, it's like if you're that type of client, now you have friends. You should have friends.
How do they ask you to do
a lot of times they don't ask
on the fly, or you.
So this is what I do when I get a client. I try to. They might come to me for choreography, but I know you don't have anything else you need. So if in order for this to be worth my time,
I need to be creative directing this shit
independent.
too. Yeah,
and it's like, okay, they got a budget that they're working with, so
I'm
gonna say, okay, boom. You need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. And you can get all of this for this price.
Wow.
So before they could
even try to pigeonhole you into doing something for
I'm going to tell them all
so flip it on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not even that. She's selling herself. Like,
I think,
but
I think for me, I'm the same way that D is. I'm that way too, kind of a little bit, especially when you're talking about like artist stuff. But for me, I don't want to work. and I should probably get out of this too, and I've been like this for a long time, and I think you've heard me say this before, is I don't want to work with nobody that I'm not a fan of either. So like a lot of times if I'm a fan of your shit or I just really believe, you can get me to do extra things because I believe in your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if I believe you, if you can make me believe you, I might go the extra mile to do some shit that you didn't that you didn't necessarily hire me to do, but because I want to see you win, because I feel like when you win, I win. That's one of the things that will motivate me to want to do more things as well. If I don't believe in you, then yeah, I'm gonna ask you to come up off that check. No shade.
Right. So, but like for both of you all, like that's as many receipts as you can get them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it don't, and then if you can help this person actually see the next step in their career or their business
and brand,
like it's a receipt for you with a gold star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes it's not worth it to do the little bit that they're asking, but if you can do other things that they sideway ask you for, but it can be beneficial to you, you know, you just got. Oh, sorry, I'm not even talking in the mic.
But that's a gem. That's a gem. Like and in so many different ways. Like I can see how many times I left money on the table, and it's honestly because I might be fan. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm in the door, you know, or I made it to the room, or I'm at the table. But I also
But you left the money on the table that you was at.
I came and I got a little check, and I didn't know like the budget was bigger, or that there were so many other of my talents that I could have invoiced. And literally, it was just that. It was another
put
line.
Your name on it. Put your name on it. Even if the check isn't what you want to see, if they are where you can be seen too, I need to put my name on it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have a photographer that I work with. And I had to tell him, put your name on it. Like you're doing all these shoots for these artists that are the artist's artist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such and such's artist. Ain't he an artist?
Right.
But, and I'm talking shit when I was signed to an artist. But yeah, then your name is on it. That name on the picture. Blah.
And people start to see it. Yeah.
And then they see your work. And then you get other people that you really get the check from to call you, you know? So it's just, you gotta just
figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's like a
play.
Yeah.
It just depends.
This was a really good conversation, guys.
So,
because you could build your catalog.
Yeah.
Because you're doing design, right?
No, she's a videography.
All things film. Yes.
That too. And then you could take over. You could say, okay, you wanted to do a film about this. Well, how about we do it about this? Because then they're paying for it. It's your idea.
Right.
That's
She be doing that anyway. That's what she be doing anyway.
That's
currently what you're doing right now.
But we have to wrap up. Matthew's about to kick us out, y'all. Y'all see him doing like little finger shit. So yeah.
No, but this was a really great conversation. I feel like we got a lot of gym drops.
Boom, drop bomb. How are we rapping it?
So Shanell, tell us, where can we find you on Instagram for the people that do not know? Look in the middle camera right there.
Okay. Those are the gems. Throwing it back out there. You can follow me on IG. I really should get my TikTok game up, but just follow me on IG. Shanellyoungmoney.
Shanell is spelled Shanell, because most people spell it like the other Chanel. Yeah. Shanellyoungmoney.
Oh, another fun fact real quick. I like TikTok music.
Do you?
Yeah. My SoundCloud is like full of TikTok.
That's sad.
Wait, so you never actually download the music, right? It's just always there.
That's like little mixes, the mashups. Let me tell you,
shit. On Instagram, I save so many audios, and I just realized like I never go back and save it.
Oh
and
my God, me too.
I never played that.
That's why I don't fuck with none of that shit.
Anyway,
reels, TikToks, it's all dead. But thank you so much, Shanell. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that I got a chance to have
having
you.
me.
Yes.
I love you guys. The energy was amazing.
This was so much fun.
And we got to we can do it again too for when we got to bring people back.
Or you know what? When you go on tour, we can open.
Girl,
There you go.
do a Q&A.
Not you throwing stuff out there. She just said.
She just said got a package.
All right, y'all. That's Crew Love signing out.
Crew Love show.
Peace.
Woo.